Hi, it's Mark Dalton here, and I'm really excited and honoured to be with you right at the beginning of your T60, the one-to-one coaching programme. We're going to be spending roughly 2.5 to 3 hours with each other today, and just so as you know, a standard T60 programme normally lasts around about 8 months. The real objective of today is for me to get to know you, and the way that I'll do that is by looking at the upfront homework we gave you. I'll also do a little bit of an interrogation, which will feel a bit like a job interview. However, it's not. It's me just trying to work out who you are so I can serve you in the best possible way. One of the outcomes of today is that we're going to set up to 5 objectives that we're going to work on during your T60. They will be very specific and very measurable. When I say specific, at the end of the T60, we'll be able to say, did we achieve that particular objective, yes or no? Or we've gone from a 3 out of a 10 to a 7 out of 10. Because you're coming through the property trainings, that's what we're going to be focusing on. The great news for you is that property investing is a skill that can be learned just like driving a car. However, where people struggle, it's not with the property side. It's actually with what's going on in their own head. So if I feel that I need to bring out any of the personal development tools that I have in my armour, I'll bring them out and help you along. Another outcome of today is that I'm going to be giving you an action plan, which you will do over the next 2 to 3 weeks. What I'm not going to be doing on the T60 is taking you from point A to point B in one big jump. We're going to go in baby steps, in sequence, all the way through your journey. That way you get the lessons, not just the outcomes. You will really understand how you achieved and why you achieved. Another outcome of today is we're going to set up a series of calls and the next face-to-face meeting so that you can understand the pace at which we're going at. The calls normally last around about 30 to 45 minutes, and the second meeting will be in 2 hours, and that second meeting will be in about 3 months' time from where we are today. The way that we operate the T60 is quite clear. What we do is we put a plan together and send you off to do the do. When we have the calls or the meetings, we review what's happened, what's gone well, what's gone less well, what questions do you have, what concerns do you have. This helps hold you accountable. Off the back of the review, we revise the overall plan, put it back together, send you away with a clear plan of what to do next. Again, baby steps. It's just a constant loop of small incremental increases in performance over time. Any notes that I take today, whether it be digital or on paper, it will get copied and sent to you by email. Here I suggest you open an email folder just for your T60. On a standard T60, and I do say standard because I don't know where you are on your journey right now, by the time that we get to the second meeting in about 3 months' time, I do expect us to have an area tied down. I expect to be looking at deals. I expect to be doing the analysis on those deals. I will talk a little bit about finance today, but it will normally be at the second meeting where we start ramping up the finance side of it. I will also look at your business plan just to make sure it's scalable, and if there are any blocks, we will deal with those, as we will throughout the whole of the T60. One of the things that's going to happen towards the end of the meeting today is we're actually going to swap phone numbers. We're going to set up a WhatsApp group so you can communicate with me at all times. At the second meeting, we will also set up the final part of the T60, which will be in a similar format to the initial part and follow the same principles. When we get to the final meeting, and I do say there final in inverted brackets because I see that I'll be working with you for many years to come. I'll be part of your team, whether formally or informally, guiding you and holding you accountable at all times. At that final meeting, we'll also be making sure that you understand exactly what happened during your T60. Today, we're going to be doing some benchmarking, and also at the third meeting, we'll be doing that benchmarking again, just to ensure that you can see how much you've grown and moved. We make sure that you know how to fish for property, guys, but also finance. Yep. We will also lay out a plan of what I would expect you to be doing over the next 12 months. I will also give you a plan to check in with me, certainly quarterly for a one-to-one, just to make sure that we keep the overall momentum and accountability going. And again, always emphasizing support. When we finish the T60, I'll not be deleting your number from my phone. You're always going to be able to contact me. I am family. Okay, the next question is, do you like roller coasters? And if you do, that's okay, absolutely great. If not, hard luck. This is going to be a real roller coaster of a journey for you. Because one day you're going to be up and the next you're going to be down. Certainly in the early stages, it's going to be up, it's going to be down. It's going to be up, it's going to be down. It's going to be up, it's going to be down. But guys, over a period of time, these emotion swings will not be as wild as they were when we first started out at the beginning of the T60. You are going to be questioning yourselves. You will be saying, am I good enough here? Am I able to do this? What was I thinking of? Right, I don't like Mark. He's horrible. My friends were right. What am I thinking about? Why am I dreaming about doing property and creating financial freedom? Guys, this is normal and it's okay. Just stick with it and me and we'll get you through those periods. How tough times manifest is that when things are going well, you will constantly be in touch with me and keeping me updated. But all of a sudden, you potentially might go quiet because you're struggling. And actually, that's the time that you need me the most. You're going to text me and say that you've got a call booked in at 10 in the morning and that your dog's got a poorly paw and that you have to go to the vets. Guys, that won't stand up. Unless you're on your deathbed, you turn up to these calls. That's if you want to get the best out of your T60, which I'm sure that you do. Accountability. If you let things slip, guys, you're letting yourself down, not me. Another part of the T60 is we don't want you to go into overwhelm. A handful of people in the early days of the T60 went into overwhelm. Why? It was because they felt they had to cram everything in during the 8-month period we were working with them. Guys, we're going to weave property through your life so it becomes second nature to you. We do not want you to be Superman or Superwoman. We want you to be able to do this in a calm and steady way. Next, I'm curious to know, do you write your goals out? Yes or no? It doesn't really matter. I'm sure that you saw Lindsay doing all the goal stuff when we were doing the creative finance training. We strongly believe in goals. We're going to run goals in parallel to the T60. Why? Why do we get you focused on goals? It's quite simple. Over the years, Lindsay and I, we've seen that people that have goals, really strong, well-defined, written out goals, achieve more than people that don't. So obviously you want to get the best out of the T60, don't you? So we're going to help you here. What tends to happen is that people with goals, when a challenge turns up, they can always see past the challenge. Whereas people that don't have well-defined and written out goals, when that challenge turns up, they just get stuck and they can't move. We used to allow people to do their goals over the full period of the T60. But now we realise the people that have the goals written out by the second meeting achieve at a higher level than the people that left it to the end of their T60. So we're going to work with you to make sure that you've got those well-defined goals. One of the other things that will say that if a T60 isn't working, there are only 3 places that I look. Number 1 is goals. Number 2 is what I call mind feed. And number 3 is what I call a network. What do I mean here? Generally, it's not the property stuff that's challenging. It's something that's going on internally that slows people down. So we check, does this person have goals? Have they got well-defined, written out goals? If they have, great. If not, we get working and get busy on them. Number 2, do they put good stuff in their head consistently? So that is reading the books from the book list that we give you. That is some of the YouTube videos we point you to, and maybe some of the podcasts that are out there. When people put good stuff in their head, they tend to achieve more. It helps motivate them. This is key. The people that don't put good stuff in their head don't achieve as well as the guys that do. It's as simple as that, really. Number 3, the people they mix with, their network. It's quite clear. All we have to do is look at you and I'll guarantee you are the sum of the 5 people around you. For you to grow, you have seen me doing this on creative finance. I rub shoulders consistently with people. The reason I'm doing that is you need to rub shoulders with people who are achieving at a higher level within the network. And finally, is that roughly what you thought you were getting yourself into? And if the answer is yes, we're moving on. Boom.